Cool. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to episode number 8 of Auto Talk podcast. Proudly sponsored by Octane Apparel. And this episode is sponsored as well by Tropical Meltdown, Kev Davis and his team in Far North Queensland. So they jumped on board and sponsored a few episodes. This one, we are joined by Robert Cottrell, Cottee.
Yep.
Thanks heaps for jumping on board, man.
No drama at all, mate.
We appreciate it. So yeah, as you can see, the background's a little bit different to what we normally do. We're in a hotel room in Sydney. All here for Burnout tomorrow morning, so we're definitely keen and ready to go. So We'll get to Burnout and all that kind of stuff shortly, but if you don't mind, we might just go back to like the start of how it all started for you and how you got into cars and then how you transitioned in the burnout sort of scene, all that sort of stuff.
Yeah, well, it sort of went back. I grew up in a small country town. There wasn't overly much to do out there other than ride bikes and drive rally bashing rigs. My old man always had cars laying around, so we just always just jumped in and went out the reserves, had fun and all that sort of stuff. Then I ended up moving to Wagga when I was a teenager, and then sort of met the Ginat crew, like Gary Myers, and that was always around Dad getting parts and all that sort of stuff. So that's sort of just come across that, and then you meet people on the way, and then went from the dirt tracks to tar and then the skid comps.
Yep.
It was the first car I ever skidded at Brushnats. Was like Brushnats 3 or 4, and it was actually my street car. I actually drove it here and drove it home.
Was that the first one, the first Brushnats
Yeah, so
here?
it was the first Brushnats here.
Yeah, okay.
So, drove it here with a rear bar and drove it home with no rear bar.
What was it?
VYSS Commodore.
Oh yeah, okay.
So
you have had you've had Holdens and stuff before.
Yeah, I had Holdens, had Fords, all that sort of stuff. Yeah. I've had them all.
And now you've got a mixture of both, like Ford Shell, LS engine.
Yeah, no, it was back when I'd done the first changeover, there wasn't many. There was only like 1 or 2 other Fords that had LSs in them.
Yep.
Copped a fair bit of hate about it. When I first took it NA to Summernats, everyone hated it, but then loved it.
In the orange one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then the Fairlane, it sort of just, when COVID hit, it sort of slid in there, and it was just a COVID build because you couldn't do anything. It was work to home, that was it. So we just built it at home in the shed in about 4 weeks.
Far out.
Out of spare bits and pieces I had laying around.
Yeah, right, okay.
So, yeah.
So, Ford haters, went to Summernats NA the first time?
Yep.
Yeah.
NA, it was Cleveland first. Like, I had a Clevo and it was street driven. Then the Clevos just weren't anything good, so then I put the LS and stuff in it.
Yep.
And then, it was first NA at Summernats.
Okay.
I think I can't even remember which Summernats it was, but it was a long time ago.
Did you have it called Ford haters?
It actually used to be called Limiter.
I was thinking that.
So that was back in the OG days.
Yeah.
Because the Cleveland had like a 4,500 chip in it.
Yeah, okay.
So 4,500, that's no rev, so it was always on the limiter every time. So I just got nicknamed Limiter, then obviously
when you put that in.
Yeah, so then when obviously the hate that I got from, I was like, oh, so then that's when we went for the haters.
Yeah.
So I was like, just
okay.
do that, make it easy. So
and then I guess and it suits, and it's a very well known car.
Yeah,
I love both of them. So I definitely can't wait for tomorrow.
Yeah, should be
so you've owned the orange one for quite some time, is it?
Yep. So 14, I bought it and I saved it from a wrecking yard. My own pocket money. I think I paid like $500 or $600 for it.
Yep.
And then sort of just it stayed with me ever since. It's been street driven, it's been skidded, it's been back to street driven. So it's been around, but she's just a full dedicated skid car now. So.
Yeah, and do all the work yourself.
Yeah, so most of it work like at the moment where it is now. It's got a Dewars 6 litre in it.
Okay.
A local bloke done KB fabrication. He done all the rear end tub work and stuff in my shed at home.
Yep.
Kane Lovell done a heap of fabrication, tanks and all that sort of stuff. So I like to sort of support the guys down home and all that sort of stuff. So, but she's a full. I used to build them myself, and then I just sort of, with work, owning my own business, it's just too much time. So you just got to sub it out sometimes.
Yeah. And is the orange one like full built engine?
Yeah. So it's
the Blaine one,
so it's a full car 6 litre.
Yep.
It's got all the fruit in it.
Yep.
It's dry sumped, which only went dry sump at the start of this year.
Okay.
But yeah, she's got all the fruit.
Yeah.
So,
And then Fat Tony seems to be like a bit of the party car.
Yeah.
Like,
so it's just the junker.
okay. So like literally thrown together to have fun in.
Had a 4L60 in it. So I bought a Statesman, had 360 or 370,000 Ks on it with a 4L in it. Bought a second-hand 4,500 converter for it. Chucked a cam and a set of springs and oil pump in it. Bought a second-hand manifold, second-hand carb, and it's just lived ever since.
Yeah. And you're saying, just before we started filming, you've done 260.
Yeah, 266 sets.
Through it in 2 years.
2 years, yeah.
And now, because it hasn't been like on the scene for probably the last year, would you
Yeah,
say?
about it's been dormant last 9 months.
9 months? So it's getting a big birthday.
Yeah, so it's getting a turbo 400 because the 4L started getting a few neutrals. And I'm getting Dawes is building a 6 litre for it.
Okay,
so
staying NA?
Yeah, staying NA,
okay.
be big revs and all that sort of stuff. So hopefully it's going to be ready by Ginat, which is in about 6 weeks. But if not, I'll just take the orange car. Okay,
so you're trying to take both?
No, if I had the money, I'd take both.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just with the one at the moment, mate. So
I was going to say running 2 cars, especially like one that's full built blown, and then running like another car as well, which is still like a decent build.
Yeah.
Like it would be expensive to enter them both. Then you got fuel tires, it's a massive weekend.
That's what I loved about Tony. Like you'd sit in the shed for 6 months, you'd put tires and fuel in it, smash half a dozen sets, put it back. The orange car, mate, like you got to spend $1,500 before it even leaves the shed. Yeah. So that's the
just
difference
the maintenance
with them.
Yeah, no, that's fair enough. So the question that I want to know personally, and I think Ryan wants to know, and probably get asked all the time, which is your favourite one to skid out of both of them? If you have.
Yeah.
I mean, I know they're completely different.
Pretty much, probably Fat Tony's a favourite because you just don't care about it.
It just gets thrashed.
Yeah, like if you smack a wall or catches fire, you just don't care. Like the orange car is sort of more the main event car for my big shows and all that sort of stuff. But the Fairlane, it's just a fun car to drive because it does everything you need it to do.
Yep.
Like I've driven a lot of cars in the scene and all that sort of stuff, and you learn how cars drive, but it just, you throw it into a corner and you go, I want to go deep in that corner, and it just goes deep in that corner.
So it just stops on the spot, like turns. Right.
It's silly. It's like a Sunday drive every time. So.
And such a big car too.
Yeah,
so you're saying it's a 1.5 foot longer?
Yeah, so a 1.5 foot longer than the orange car.
Yeah, fuck.
So, because when I smashed the orange car at Summonats, my driving, I pulled back on my driving heaps. Like I just couldn't let go.
Yeah.
And then obviously when I built the Fairlane, I went, oh, if I can do this in the Fairlane, I can do this in the orange car. So then my whole driving style changed.
Because you know the orange one will fit.
Yeah, I'm like, if I can do this in an underpowered, just NA party car, I can definitely do it. And that's, you've probably seen in the last
that makes sense.
2 years, my driving style changed dramatically. Yeah. And that was the reason why, because of the party car.
Yeah. Yeah, I look at your two and I look at like some of the entry shoots, the exit shoots. I'm like, fuck, it's a big car to got like a tight spot.
Well, Summonats actually I took the tow bar tongue off it at Summonats a Fairlane because I knew I couldn't get around with the tow bar on it. But
to rub the wall.
Yeah. So first skid I tapped the wall, and then second skid I went out with no tow bar and got through.
Oh shit!
So it was awesome.
And they counted that as a wall tap.
Yeah, they called it as a wall tap. So.
It's funny that's got like a tow ball on it too.
Yeah.
That's good. Favorite event? I know we're here for brushing hats.
Yep.
Like which one's your favorite?
Two of my favorites would be Ginats and Brushinats. Obviously Ginats, you get a lot of driving of the car, which I absolutely love.
Yep.
Like the 20-minute cruise sessions. You come in, change tyres, put fuel, go again.
Yep.
Brushinats just because it's the biggest one-day party in Australia.
And it's huge. Like, you can't.
And Mick runs a beautiful, awesome show, and it shows with the people that come.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, and lately I've heard a lot about like an event that's run by someone who competes. It's way different to someone who doesn't compete or like a non-entrant. Like he wants action all the time. Yeah. Gets the biggest cars. Yeah. And it's just.
Yeah, it's the same with our little show that we do down at Wagga, our Thrash Nut show. Yep. Like, as entrants, we know what we hate at car shows. Yep. And that's what the biggest difference. Like Gary's shows ran by entrants. Here, ours, like Tropical Meltdown, and all run smooth. But when you got someone that not knows how to do it but hasn't been an entrant, it just nothing flows.
Yeah, you get like a bit of downtime or like a lull or
And you can't have downtime in shows, mate. So,
yeah. I mean, look at tomorrow. Like the gates open at 6.
Yeah.
Skids start at 8.
8:30, 9 o'clock or something.
Yeah, and then I was talking to Ryan. I think it stops at like 8 or 9 at night. Is that right? Or was it a bit earlier?
I think they normally do the finals about 9 o'clock normally.
Yeah, so it's a fucking huge day.
Yeah, it's mate, by the end of it, you're buggered.
Yeah, yeah. There's no hanging around and after party and shit. Like, I just want to load my car up and go home.
Yeah, I used to actually just drive home after the event, but now I just stay the extra night and it's heaps better.
Yeah, definitely, definitely. So with the 2 cars, is there like a favourite skid that stands out for like one for each, or something like, or one that you're proud of, or?
So there's two favourite ones. Obviously Red Senna, that's 2 years ago when I won that in orange car. It was sort of a very angry skid because my car got tampered with the night before.
Oh, really?
So it was just one of the things. They had video of it, but they couldn't tell, obviously. But yeah, a couple of plug leads got pulled off in the pits overnight. And then Jack Seaman's like, in the lineup, he goes, you need to show them why they need to tamper with your car. And then I ended up winning it, and it was awesome. And then the other one with Fat Tony would have been when I got the Masters ticket at Heathcote. A lot of people doubted me with the Fairlane. They're like, oh, it's a party car, I'll never make Masters.
Yeah.
So then I was like, rightio, end of the year, I've got to get this in the Masters. And I ended up getting my ticket. So
I thought, that's right, yeah.
So they're probably the two they're probably my 2 memorable ones. I proved a lot of people wrong. Mm-hmm. And yeah, that was one of my first big comps I actually won was Red Senna.
Yeah, which is definitely like a good one to win too. Like travel all that way. Yeah. Because you go up up through the middle from where you are.
Yeah, go through Port Augusta and up the top through Cottee and all that sort of stuff. Yeah,
I've been out there once before. It was like 3 days of driving for us to go across.
Yeah, we done it in 23 hours.
Oh, straight. Shit. Yeah, okay.
And don't do it. I wouldn't recommend it.
Yeah, my wife and I did like a 16 or an 18-hour day, I think was one of them, like sharing the driving. And yeah, you're absolutely buggered. But we had to, like 3 days, we have to keep going. Yeah. And then I think the last day was like 5 or 6 hours. But if we didn't put in the big days at the start, we're never going to get there, And then we went through like Cooper Pedy, Port Augusta, Broken Hill, and like come back up, like made a big trip out of it. Yeah. So like that was pretty sweet.
That's a good thing about skids, like comps these days. Like the skids are the bonus part. Like you go to meet the people.
Yeah.
It's a social side of thing. Like so many friends I've got now is through the skid scene that you would never have met if you never actually done the travel and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
That's the best part of all this stuff is meeting new people and away you go. Like you make good friendships.
Yeah, so. Definitely. Yeah. Yeah, and you probably keep them for life too. Like,
that's it,
and you see them everywhere, and like it's good to catch up, especially like big ones like Summernats and that. Everyone goes there. Or this one, you always catch up with people you don't really see like too often.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's definitely been good. If there was a car on the scene that wasn't yours, what would you pick to skid, and probably where too?
Oh, that's probably a hard one. That one.
Yeah.
Everyone will probably wants to drive Lynch's car.
Yep.
But
I was going to say loaders.
Yeah,
I thought everyone would want to skid loaders.
I don't know. It's hard. Like,
and they're two very different cars too. Like,
I reckon the same as Mick Brash was talking about, blown Lux.
Oh yeah.
Like it's just something. It's big cubes. It's different.
Yep.
And I just reckon, like, if you had an opportunity to just get it, like, let off the brake and just let it go, I reckon it'd be the maddest ride of your life.
Yeah, I reckon that thing probably handles way different to what people expect, like, especially being, so this high off the ground and,
Like, just like big cubes, man. Like, I could just imagine it. Like, you just get off the brake and just let it go and just hold on.
Yeah. So would you skid that like a big pad?
Oh,
you reckon? So you got the room?
Have to have a big run. Like he is awesome because obviously you get the dip and all that sort of stuff. But I reckon it has to be like a Cairns one, like
the Northern Nats.
The Northern Nats one, because that running is just huge, and all them boys just go that hard.
Yeah. Yeah, then they're getting further and further back too, up there. Like, they all started like probably 20, 30 metres back from like the pad. Now they're...
When you come down in the stage lane, they're starting from up there.
Going up there, By the time they get there, like, the tyres are half gone. Like, you got nothing left to hit the pad with. Yeah. So, that's... I thought, like, Loader's car or something like that. Like, that's definitely one of my favourites in the scene.
It's definitely got to be cubes.
But,
I'd say, like, Gramoosa's thing at risk.
Oh, yeah.
Obviously, he's sold that now.
Yeah.
But... Yeah,
something like that big.
It has to be something cubes. Like, I've driven a lot of cars and stuff in the scene, but it has to be cubes. Like, you can't beat cubes these days.
Yeah. Yeah, I saw you did test skid crazy the other day.
Yeah, test skid crazy. There's a few little things that we fixed up on it.
Okay.
But yeah, it drives like a bucket of shit. I'm not even gonna lie to him. I told that straight to him. I said, mate, this thing doesn't steer.
Oh,
and he goes,
okay.
now you can't judge me. And I was, but like,
So way different to your car's handling.
Yeah,
So like
way
doesn't
different.
go where you want it to go.
No, like I was trying to have a bit of fun with it and get into a corner. It just wanted to do donuts.
Yeah. Okay.
And, like I've driven Jack's Kiwi a couple of times and all that sort of stuff. I've driven Billy Seaton's VK.
Yep.
I've driven Joel's Corolla. I've driven a few ones and they all handle different.
Yeah. Okay.
But that's what I like about the Fairlane and the orange car. They drive exactly the same.
Yeah. Okay.
One's got power steer, one doesn't, but they're exactly the same as each other.
Which one doesn't have power steering?
The orange car.
Yeah. Okay.
Yep.
But they still handles like just
exactly the same. One's just a little bit easier to swing on the wheel.
Yeah. Okay.
So yeah.
Yeah. Right. Yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah.
So, and does Crazy have a new engine or?
Yeah, so it's a War-Speed 388.
Okay.
It's a freshie and all that sort of
So
stuff.
that you were kind of testing.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, just make sure it was all sweet with him. I built a motor for him a little while ago. Me and Dewar put a little combo together.
Yep.
He had a ball with it. He already had one ordered through Troy and all that sort of stuff. So it was a bit of a fill-in motor.
Yep.
He got the 388. We put it all in. He came out one Wagga's Burnout party. Changed a few little things that we weren't sort of happy with. Now it's on kill mode and hopefully smashes the whole heap of sets this weekend.
Yeah.
So.
Because I saw the video and then I saw your face in it and I was like, wait. I was like, it's not Tyson. And I was like, and it sounded different too. You could hear it like straight away. Like it just revved. Like
big Q. We're probably turned 8,000 this weekend for him.
Oh, shit. Okay.
But it's dry something, mate. It's got, like, same thing. It's got like Troy's motors, mate. They're bulletproof.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah. So we've talked about Fat Tony's getting a birthday.
Yep.
So is that like full rear end?
No, so I'll keep the Borgie in it.
Okay.
But it's mainly just motor and box. It's getting a CDI manifold. It's getting a 1050 carby. It should, if all goes to plan, it might be dry sumped after probably 6 months.
Okay.
Because I want to rev it.
Okay.
There's nothing better than big revs.
Big revs, yeah.
Like Pete Thompson's little Windsor.
Yep.
He roars a ringo out of that.
That's small cube too, isn't it? Like
yeah, so it's small cubes. Like Chris Orchard's game.
Yep.
It's big RPM. Like you can't beat revs.
Yeah. As soon as you hear it go, everyone that knows, like that does burnouts, everyone knows, like, oh, that's up there.
And
like
that's
you can just tell.
The old family, it's sort of like I said, it's been dormant for a little while.
Yeah.
I thought, you know what, a lot of people are going, this wind's coming back, so I'm sort of bringing it back to mess up the NA class as well.
Yeah. Keep everyone honest.
So
you're starting to spend money on it, like, because it was slapped together. Now you're starting to put a bit more money and care into it.
I thought about reshelling it, but then the car's so well known around the scene and all that sort of stuff. And then I was trying to work out what I'd put it into, which was too hard to work out what to put it into.
What would you buy
and
it?
I've got everything there.
Yeah. And you're right. Like it is a well-known car. Like as soon as you see it, you're like, oh, that's Fat Tony.
Like that's amazing.
Like, one air cleaner hanging out the bottom. That's it. Like
we literally built it. It was like 4 or 6 weeks we built it in under 10 grand.
Under 10 grand, 4 weeks. Fuck.
But I did have a lot of spares laying around as well.
Yeah.
Because everyone's like, you can't build a burnout car for under 20 grand, and I sort of wanted to prove a point with it.
Yep.
But it's just been a fun car. I mean, like, I've let so many other people drive it.
Yeah, that's all. Yeah, you can chuck them the keys and be like, you can't do anything worse than I did to it. Like, have a go.
Yeah. So
like, you're not going to live in a bash it for.
Now with the new combo and all that sort of stuff, I probably won't drive it for a while anyway.
Yeah.
So.
Has anyone else driven the orange one? Or was that kind of like, no?
Well, so a couple of years ago, I had dramas with my blown car. Went through scrutineering, fired up at scrutineering, and it had a rattle.
Okay.
And I was like, oh, that's a bit odd. So we took it back to pits. 20 minutes later, we got the heads off, we got the blower off it, and it spun a lifter.
Oh, shit.
And Jack's like, you can skid my ute. And that was the first time I ever skidded Jack's ute.
Yeah.
So then
double end. Oh, yeah. It ended up being like double entered.
Yeah. So we entered that, and then obviously I skidded his car, and he's like, "You owe me one." No worries. So then Darwin, we had the fresh engine and all that sort of stuff. It lifted. Our head went soft, and so it lifted the head. So I blew it and torched it. And Jack, that was on the first day.
Oh shit.
And then Jack was like, "You can skid my car again." I was like, "Oh."
No,
Okay,
are you,
no,
are you again?
So then we went back to back. Like that little small block, mate, copped abuse for a day and a half. I ended up getting 10th place in his car, which was awesome.
Yeah, his
He
car's
kept
nice
the trophy,
too. Like,
but
yeah.
I think he got 3rd place anyway.
Yeah.
And then obviously, in the meantime, like Jack sold his motor. He's doing he sold his motor. He's doing an LS in his now.
Yeah, I've seen him on social media, like trying to get a few LS
Yeah,
parts.
so
and...
he's doing a dry sump LS in that.
Okay.
That now.
Cause that was small block Chev, hey?
Yeah,
like
so it's
400?
a small block. It's actually
Cool.
I actually fitted that motor and stuff to a vehicle that's actually getting debuted tomorrow at Brashnats.
Oh, right.
So it was pretty easy because I've always helped Jack work on it and all that sort
Yeah.
of stuff. So it's in a ute, which you'll notice it anyway because everyone knows what Jack's small block sounded like.
Yeah, okay. All right.
So you'll pick it straight
We'll look
away.
out for it.
It'll be easy to pick. So
Yeah.
And that's what I said to Jack. Messaged me a few months ago. And he's like, "So am I skidding your car at Brashnats?" I'm like, "Easy," but he's rodeoing this weekend. So
Oh, so he's not even here?
nah.
Oh, right.
So he's doing real good with his rodeoing and stuff.
Yeah.
Like that. He loves it.
Yeah, I've been following it along, like, yeah.
But I've been waiting
love
for
it.
him to go, "I want to skid your car," but I was waiting for him to bring this one up, but he never did. So
Yeah, okay. Yeah. Is there any way you wouldn't, like, let someone skid your car? Like, that you think it's, like, too tight or you like...
Pretty
or
much.
just,
No,
like, have a crack?
I'd let pretty much if you respect the car, all that sort of
Yeah.
stuff. If you're going out there just to try and kill it or something, that
Yeah, it's a bit different,
But
yeah.
pretty much if you can afford to, if I know you can afford to fix it if you break it.
Yeah, yeah.
Like everything's sort of expiry date. Like if it did break on someone, I'm not going to go, "You owe me money," blah blah blah.
Yeah.
It is what it is. It can break on anyone.
Yeah,
and that's
yeah.
the difference. Like that's the first time I ever skidded Jack's ute. I'm like, dude, this blows up or something like it's 60 grand. Like I don't have that.
Yeah, yeah.
And he's like, "You can't do any worse than what I've done to it."
Yeah.
And that's always been his motto.
Yeah.
And then
I feel like that's a lot of drivers like that. They're like, well, I thrash it. You can't really thrash it anymore. Like, it's got a limiter.
Yep.
It's only got to go to that limiter.
Yep.
Like, yeah.
And
I say that to all them too.
The first time I tipped it in, like he was on the sideline here, and he's just like hands up, rev it, and I'm like,
So he wasn't even in the car with you.
Nah, and like the tacos are like 7,000, and he's like this, and I started revving 8, and he's got the thumbs up on the sideline. I'm just like, and because like obviously we didn't plan to double skid it.
Yeah.
We pinched a set of tyres off Harry off the VK, so they were 14s.
Oh, right.
So
What's he normally skid in that?
So 16s.
16s, okay.
And we had like obviously it's only 2 skids if you get in the finals.
Yeah, yeah.
And so it had these little 14s on it, and mate, it chewed these 14s in about 30.
I was going to say, yeah, it would have been quick.
I was like, tipper in, donut. I was like, bang, bang. I was like,
Especially like $8,000 or
Yeah.
Fucking hell. Is that what he normally revs it to?
yeah. So it's
Yeah.
it's been 8,000 its whole life.
Okay.
Little Ingram's automotive engine motor just sings.
Yeah.
It's the same like Ingram's got a Rhino and Hold On.
Yep.
It's actually a clone of Jack's small block.
Oh, right. Okay.
And as you can see, mate, it's on killer.
I was going to say, now that you say that you can kind of, they're very both similar,
Yeah.
like how they rev, how they kind of sound.
So
Yeah, like they're both up
it's the
there.
same. Like Rhino's 3 from 3 at the moment.
Yeah,
So-
he's on a good tear, like Northern Nats,
Wagga,
Wagga, yep.
and
And then what
where
was it before that? The
Kenworth.
Tamworth, yeah. So he's going to be a big one to watch tomorrow.
Yeah, I was thinking about giving him a call out tomorrow. Him or Chris Orchard in Game Over. One of them two, I reckon I'm going to come
Oh,
up
yeah,
on
so you don't
tomorrow.
have anyone lined up
No.
for tomorrow?
I was sitting there trying to work it out because Penderbury rang me and goes, "Who are you going to call out?" I was like, "I don't know." He's like, "You need to work it out." And so I'm trying. I'll figure it out
On
sometime
the
tomorrow.
day call
Yeah.
out or
Yeah.
just a friendly?
Yeah, just a friendly
Yeah.
one, mate. Like
That's what I did with Kev Davis. Like, he runs
yeah.
Tropical. I was like, you just want to like go against each other? And he's like, yeah, like, why not? Like,
it's
nothing
always-
on the line
it's
or
always
anything.
good
But
about banter.
Yeah.
I love banter, mate. Like
yeah,
people start getting a little bit serious about stuff. If you go on to win a comp, you shouldn't be there.
yeah,
I always go for the fun of it. There is times, mate, like I've had no Masters ticket. And I'm like, someone that's sold out. The only way to get in is win your way in. So then you get a little bit serious.
Oh,
But
yeah.
Other than that, mate,
trying to get like a wild card or,
Yeah,
or
wild
win a
card,
Masters.
yeah.
Yeah, okay.
that's where it goes when you get a little bit too serious.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
I have before. I've gotten real serious. Got game. I didn't want to talk to anyone, but then I went, well, we're all here for the same reason.
Yeah.
We're all here to have fun. As long as you're driving on the trail at the end of the day, that's
Yeah,
what
that's
matters.
it. Yeah. What do you like nerves wise then? Like
I'm
the day or like leading up to it?
I'm pretty good. Like this year, I've been pretty bad with maintenance on it. One Good Friday, sat in the shed. I loaded it Thursday night, and then the first time was to start it over here. to go scrutineering since Good Friday.
Jesus.
I haven't even looked over it, so I've got to look over it
In the
tomorrow.
morning?
Yeah, so...
Because you're in the later group, aren't you? Like
yeah, I'm like group 6 or something.
6? Yeah, I thought so. Yeah.
But yeah, nerves-wise, I'm pretty good until I get on the start line. And I don't know what it is for some reason. Every time I get to the start line at Burnout, they always shut me down to a pad clean.
Oh, okay.
So then it just builds up the nerves.
Yeah.
And for some reason, every time, the car never wants to start. I just sit there and go, winds over and winds. I've always got to get out and put some sauce down.
Yeah, okay. Then you start, like, anxiety starts building. You start
and,
panicking.
You
You're
start
like,
freaking
fuck.
out and all that sort of stuff. But as soon as you hit the loud pedal, mate,
then it's all gone.
goes.
Yeah. It's good too, though, because then you know you got, like, a clean pad. So you're like, all right, sweet. I'm glad that, but it's also like, fuck. And then, like, I know I've had mine, like, wind over before, and I'm looking around at people like, what's going on?
Come on.
Yeah, and you're like, why now? And the guy's looking at you like, come on. You're like, I'm literally trying, dude. Like, give me a minute. Like, fuck, I'm freaking out.
But, no, it's always good. I just love the pad here, mate, because like, obviously the entry and then the dip, like, we always go...
Because the dip's, where the entry meets the pad.
Yeah, so we always go 3 seconds past the dip and throw it.
And then throw it. Okay.
Yeah, you should try it.
I was going to, I've been talking to him about the whole drive down.
Bake it on the start, let it go, and then 3 seconds past dip, throw it. And then, see where you end up.
Yeah, okay. I was saying that because, I was like, I need to pick out, like, look at the grandstand and see, like, where the roof is to pick out, like, some points.
Yeah.
Do you do that as well? Like, do you look at, like, points to know, or do you just...
You sort of work it out. Like, during the day is easy.
Yeah.
Because there's so much light. Brushing out's night skids are the crappers.
Yeah.
Because, I don't know what is, as soon as the finals come out, the wind stops...
All the smoke seems to just stay there.
Yeah, and like you just you literally look for the overhang, like the overhang of the grandstand. Yeah, that's all you look.
So you're kind of counting,
Yeah, because obviously the overhang is the wide of the pad, so you just got to keep your eye on it.
Yeah.
Like there's been sometimes like I've looked at my passenger and just shook my hands up. I don't know where him.
Do you? I had a passenger last time I was here, and I got kind of stuck down the end near the tires, like near the exit chute. Yep. And we're just going around and around. He kept doing this, like every time we'd swing around, and I'm like, fuck. Like, how sure are you that that's the way to go? Because I couldn't see.
You got to have.
And he's
trust.
like, man, I'm sure it's this way. And I was like, fuck, I hope you're right. And then,
but
it's like, what if he's wrong and there's a wall there, and then bang, and you're like, oh, like.
And and that's where you got to have me. You got to have someone.
Yeah.
You can 100% trust, and that's what's good about Jack as a passenger. Like, I don't know what it is like in the early days because I've only been real competitive the last probably 3 years.
Yep.
Everyone's like, oh, you won your comp, you've won so many. I'm like, I've only been competitive the last 3 years.
Yeah.
And that was a lot of different things. And like, one of the first times my driving style started to change was when I went with Rick Fuller at Cairns.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
And just to watch how he wheeled it and all that sort of stuff. Because he's Mr. GPS.
Yeah.
Like, I said to him, I said, where's the GPS in this thing, man? Like,
got a little tom-tom or something he's watching? Like.
And like, just the way he drove it, I was just like, all right, and then that's when I saw it. Then I obviously hit the wall at Summernats and all that sort of stuff, and it pulled it back. And then building the party car, then having the party car and the orange car changed my whole driving style.
Got your confidence like back up again. Yeah.
But yeah, like it's just Jack's one of the best ones, mate. If he says go left, you're left.
Going. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
And then like I've never had him wrong. Like he was with me for my winning skid and all that sort of stuff.
Phone just stopped recording.
Fuck, really? Yeah. All right. So we're just saying, like having a passion that you trust.
Yeah.
They're pointing at a thing, or like you're saying. So Jack's like.
Jack's the man, and Billy Seaton, man. Like, if they say go left, go left.
Yeah. So did he build that VK as a party car?
So it was originally Andrew Cohen originally built it.
Okay.
Back in the day, then Cohen sort of went away a little bit from the burnout scene. Obviously having family, building a new house, and all that sort of stuff. So then Billy got a War-Speed motor built. Then they double entered it for a while. Like it was Cohen's gearbox, Billy's motor. And then Billy ended up just buying it off Cohen, all that sort of stuff. But yeah, it's just Billy's. He actually's not going to be here this weekend because it's actually just getting a heap of work done. It's getting a birthday as well. So
it was entered, wasn't it?
So it's entered.
It was in one of the lists?
He's working flat out at the moment.
Yeah, okay.
I think he's in Tassie or something at the moment working.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't think if he turns up, it's going to be a miracle. Because the last time I was saying it was half painted, like it was getting ready for paint.
Oh shit!
Then he's like, I don't know if I'm going to make it because of work and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah, that's a stout car. That one, like I fucking love watching that thing skid.
I drove it at Ginat's.
Yeah.
Something happened to it. And he's like, extension housing seal pushed out. And he goes, he wasn't in the mood because Billy doesn't like working on his own cars. He's like, you fix it, you can drive it. I was like, done. I was under there, like just on the cruise track, and he's like, it's just a fun car to drive.
Yeah.
Like obviously when Cullen
It
built
looks
it,
like it is, yeah.
like Cullen built it up bulletproof, and it just drives so good.
Yeah.
But obviously Billy used to have his HQ, like his pink HQ back in the day.
Yeah.
Which hopefully it comes back one day.
So that's just on the like sitting on the shelf for a bit. Yeah. Okay.
But
Because that's the one that spat a tire at Ginat, hey?
twice.
Like, yeah, on the
On the
entry.
entry, ended up in the gutter twice.
Yeah. I've seen the one.
Yeah,
I didn't know.
it kept snapping. The big block just kept snapping wheel studs.
Fuck. Because I thought, and it hit like table drain or whatever.
Yeah,
like,
that was before it had all the barriers there. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I haven't been to Ginat yet, but yeah, I like.
Yeah, it's one to go to, man. If you love, it's like power cruising, but obviously it's selected entries and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
And the track's just so much fun, but just they've got one rule there: the grass is lava.
Yeah. Okay.
Like I had a big lose 2 years ago, and Gary just ripped me a new one.
Oh,
like,
true.
I was like, had Matty Watts in the back seat, Gene me up, had another bloke in front, and way over the back corner. And I knew my tyres were getting pretty close because she was getting pretty zingy. I had recaps on the back, and over the back I was top gear power skidding, actually threw a cap on me.
Oh, right.
And I was moving, and she's going sideways and all that sort of stuff, and we're going straight for the wall, and I was like, I'm not bending this.
Yeah.
So I just stood on it and done a big old banana flick, and then two back tyres touched the grass and come back on. Next minute, Gary's come down, the stewards have come down, yelling at me, all that sort of stuff. But because it's synthetic grass and for the supercars.
Oh, okay.
Like,
all right, yeah.
And I was like, I'll pay for whatever it does. So, yeah, now every time I go to Ginat, I take a bag of seeds with me. That's our running
Just
joke.
give it to him at the start of the weekend and be like, this covers me for like the whole weekend.
Because obviously up there it's so dry.
Yeah.
In the dry season, obviously wet in the wet season. Like
they can't go waste some water just to keep it like, No, that's fair enough.
Yeah, if you ever want to do a drive, mate, definitely get on that one.
Yeah. That's what we love about Fridays too in Brisbane, like where we live.
Yeah.
It's like Queensland Raceway is 20 minutes from my house.
Like Ryan showed me. Like, I've always wanted to go. He's always into me. He's like, come up.
Yeah.
But I'm just like, every time it lands, it's always like there's a Vic comp or something on. But it's on my list to do.
Yeah.
I'll bring the party car up there.
Yeah, I was going to say, I was going to ask you like what events you haven't done yet, but you do want to get to.
Definitely Ryan's ones.
Yeah.
I definitely want to get up there to support him. Like he's always supported our shows and all that sort of stuff. It's definitely on the list to do. Like Tropical Meltdown, I've got a spot on a truck for that. I've got one of Ryan's one. I'm doing Ginats, but I also want to do a bit more travelling again.
Yeah. Just get back out, up north or out west and stuff.
Because obviously I started my own business a couple of years ago, so now I've got a couple of guys working for me and that, so now I can actually have a bit of time off.
Oh, yeah, and let them run the shop.
Because before it was just me and an apprentice.
Yep.
So obviously I couldn't just leave him.
And that's Cottrell Automotive?
Yeah, Cottrell Automotive.
Yeah.
So
what are you doing there?
So it's just mechanical work,
Okay.
doing a few burnout cars here and there and all that sort of stuff.
Okay. So like your everyday servicing and stuff?
Yeah, just everyday service and all that sort
building,
of stuff.
And
then
if someone comes in and wants a skid go, you can build it as well.
Yeah, so just doing a lot of new stuff. I've got a list of cars I've got to do at the moment, but I'm just got to try and find time for it.
Yeah, like when I'm not traveling doing skids, I'll get to it.
Yeah, so that's what I like. And that's what you build your business on is feedback and all that sort of stuff, and that's what it is now. Like they see you do one good job, like you do have stuff ups and all that sort of stuff, but you get around that sort of thing and move on. So
yeah, and then so you're going to fly into Ginat and Tropical Meltdown?
Yeah, I'll fly into Darwin and fly into Tropical. So.
So you send the car on the truck.
Yep.
Are you allowed like fuel, tyres?
So it's only tyres. We've got to buy a fuel at Ginat.
Okay.
And then I'll just try and talk to one of the boys up Queensland way.
Yeah,
get
I was going to say,
and all that sort of
Kev
stuff.
should be able to sort you out a drum, or Bubba or something like that should be able to sort you out drums from like Townsville or Cairns or something.
I'm happy to buy a drum, and then whatever's left, I'll just leave it there to one of the boys.
Oh, actually, there's a BP guy in Cairns. I bought a drum from them before to take it to Northern Nat. So, you should be able to get it in Cairns. I've done that before. So, and it's good too because 10th anniversary, they brought it back down to Cairns.
Yeah,
he started in Cairns, then he went up to Mariba, and he's brought it back to the Cairns track, which is on like there's a go-kart track and shit tied into it.
Yeah.
And you sort of start on there and go into the pad, and decent size, flat, can't really hit anything.
Yeah.
Back up the chute. They've actually widened like a part of the chute, so you can do nuts halfway up the chute and then come back out again. So they put a lot of work and shit into it, and it's good.
Yeah.
Night before they have like a meet and greet, so all the drivers go to like one of the pubs in town and catch up and.
Yeah,
it's good. It gives that whole it's really good. So yeah, Cairns is definitely like a good event. Tropical Meltdown, yeah. Like he's got 2 tickets for Burnout Masters Pro Series.
Yeah, the Pro Series. Yeah.
And then I think it's 10 grand first
Yeah,
prize.
it's
I
mad.
think.
It's mad prize money
Like,
there.
yeah,
Always. Kids have always got mad prize money.
yeah. Which draws a lot of cars and people willing to come from all different places. The 2 tickets, like that's obviously a big draw card as well.
Yeah.
And then I've been to a couple, and it's just that the night before when everyone's at the pub catching up because he has like a whole section cut off. Everyone's in there. It's the first time I met like Adrian Cuthbertson and everything.
Yeah.
And I was like, man, I've seen your car in like magazines for years. You know, I'm like fucking now I'm standing like talking to you. It was crazy.
And that's the mad thing about like I remember like watching like Gary Myers skid and like Rick Fuller starting to skid and all that sort of stuff and like Etzel, like all them like original fellas, and now like I'm skidding with them.
Yeah.
It's so weird. Like I used to watch them and now I'm skidding with them and all that sort of stuff. And that's the maddest thing about the whole skid scene now. Like you sit there and you watch them on telly, all that sort of stuff. You go to shows, you watch them now, you're skidding with them.
Yeah.
Like
Phil Kergene.
They might think I'm thinking they're old, but they're not really much older than us. But they were just
been doing it longer.
They were just in the scene a lot longer than us.
I look at I love Phil Kergene's wagon.
Yeah.
Like I freak out over it all the time. I've chatted to him a couple of times, but I'm just like fuck. Like it's just fucking wild. I get to skid with you or like against you or whatever. Yeah.
And that's the biggest thing. You can't be stub your nose up at people like. If they want to talk to you, you got to give everyone 5-10 minutes of your time because you start snobbing people and then they don't come back.
Yeah. Or you kind of get this reputation of like, that guy's an arsehole.
I buy posters every year just to bring the bash for kids because all the kids always come up. Oh, you got posters, and for years I was like, nah, sorry guys.
Yeah.
So I just bring a wad of posters up and just give them to them.
I started doing that at some nights. People are like, do you have stickers? I'm like, oh no, I've never done stickers. And then Ryan does our merch.
Yeah.
So I'm like, man, I need like the Pinky number
stickers,
plate. Yeah. And he's like, I can do like 100 for you. And I just give them out to kids. Like, and you see some kids walk around with a wad like this. And you're like, fuck, you've been around the campsite like grabbing a whole bunch.
Well, the biggest thing lately, like Good Friday, a kid came up and he goes, can I have your rim? I was like, what? Here's your rim. I'm like, you can have both of them if you want. So I don't know what his parents thought when they probably got back to the car with 2 rims.
Took your whole rim.
Rims.
Holy
like,
shit!
They had no beads left on, but I'm like, what's this kid going to do with this? He
just bolt him to the wall in his bedroom or something.
So that would have been an interesting conversation. Go back to the car with mum.
Go back to the grandstand and be like, here, I've got these 2 things.
I literally just they were still red hot, man. Unbowled. His kid's like, can I have one? And his other mate's like, can I have one? I'm like,
fuck.
He's a rag, yeah.
Let them cool down for a bit or something. Yeah,
so
Jesus
they took
Christ.
him and off the
ran off. So. Yeah. I've given someone like the tire. Like you know how sometimes when they blow, they just get like the wall, like the sidewall. Yeah, I've given like that before. Yeah. I had one kid at Summonat's, my wife's cousin. He's like, can I have that sidewall? And I was like, yeah, if you can get off the rim, because I'm not going to do it. Like when I go back to Andrew Murphy, who does all my tires and stuff, I'm like, he'll cut it off. But and then he sat in there for like 45 minutes with crowbars and
got her off.
And I was loading the car on the truck and like sorting all my shit out. Yeah. I was like, you got until the time that I'm loaded. Like I need that to go in the car as well. Yeah. And he was in there and he finally wedged it off and hung it around his neck and he's like, cheers, see ya. I was like, whatever. Yeah. Like it's going in the bin if you don't take it. So you can have it. But some people just want like whatever they can get. Like, can I take this thing? I'm like, go for it. Like,
But best way of doing it, mate.
Yeah. How do you find if you're at like an event like what you're just touching on with giving everyone your 5 minutes? Yep. If you're, say your car's hurt, you're trying to work on it. You got people like, can I talk to you or can I get a photo or?
It's mad because Thrashing Outs last year, I done a demo skid. Mm-hmm. We done an auction write-off for a local fundraiser. I actually blew up my car.
Oh shit!
First time it blew up in like 5 years.
At your own show,
at my own show, doing a demo.
Doing a demo skid, yeah.
Then,
always the way.
Not even like we literally pushed it around, put it back in my trailer. Not even 10 minutes after it blew up, Win News wanted to do an interview because I'm obviously a promoter for the show, and he's like,
they weren't aware.
She didn't understand all that sort of stuff, and she's like. And then, like, Felicity, our secretary, she's like, his car just blew up. Like, just...
Give him a minute.
You just change attitude. You're there, like, you do the interview, all that sort of stuff. But I'm never going to tell a kid or someone to piss off or all that. Like, you can't do that. Like, them kids sort of look up to you. Yeah. If you give them attitude and go, oh, piss off, bro, I'm too busy. They're going to talk to 15, 20 different people. Yeah. Oh, I tried to go and talk to Rob before the haters and he told me to piss off. Yeah. Like, everyone, like, it doesn't matter who it is, mate, you got to give them time. Yeah.
It's like how we looked up to the guys that have been skidding, like, well before us. Yeah. It's like the Gary Myers and the Phil Kergenes and that, like, and Stephen Loader, I remember him, like, like so many of them, like they, Leroy Rees with the old Statesman, like they come up to Ingham, like up near home.
The big state, eh?
Yeah, that thing, yeah. Like I remember seeing them just thinking like, because, Ingham's like a couple of hours south of Cairns, and they did the big trip for one of those years, and I was like 18, 19, and just thought, fuck, how these cars like make it all the way up here? Like you see them on social media or magazines and shit, and then you talk to them, they're just normal. Then you're like, you got to pay that forward and keep doing it.
And that's like Gary. Gary will spend 45 minutes going around shaking everybody's hand, saying hello. He does his rounds, and that's just Gary. He's always been like that.
Yeah.
Like
which is why he's loved by everyone.
Yeah, that's the same with Jake. Like Jake gives everyone their time and all that sort of stuff. Obviously, when you're a very popular person, it's hard. Like even like at Summits when we're doing all the signing stuff, I was nervous because it was the first one.
At the Burnout Masters.
Yeah, I'm like, I bet you no one turns up. And then, like, every single person, like we got smacked.
Yeah.
Like me and Jack just sat there, and I think I'm going to get a stamp made for my signature.
Just go bang.
Like,
yeah, it's a weird one. Like we talk about it a few times in our group. Like you're just normal people. Yeah. Then other people come up and they want a photo with you or something. And you're kind of like, how do you even know who I am? Or like, and like it's a weird sort of thing. Or going to the signing thing, like I'd be freaking out. Be like, like you said, no one turns up. Yeah. Then all of a sudden you've got like a lineup.
It was like
you're
a
like
10 o'clock one. I was just like, oh.
Yeah.
I hope someone turned up. And then we got there, and then the other guys were there, and then the gates opened and they just rolled in. It was just one after another. It was a lineup. I was like, this is awesome.
Yeah, that's sick too. Yeah. So, do you cruise the orange one like a lot, like at Summits and shit like that? Or?
I try to. Yeah. Obviously, Summits gets pretty banked up in the cruise session, all that sort of stuff. Like, it took me an hour to do one lap, a full tank of fuel.
I was going to say, that's like,
and it was like
a couple $100
obviously
gone.
Like methanol at Summits is like $4 a litre. So it's like a $200 lap.
Yeah.
So, like, you try, which I think there's so much is trying to change a few things with cruise sessions, like burnout cars can cruise.
I was going to say, a few people online have been like, you should have like a
just
an hour
blown,
like an hour thing a day where the big blown cars can go out uninterrupted. Because it's $100 or $200 a lap.
That's the thing with some of that. They're trying to get feedback. Like, you can't change if you've got no feedback.
Yeah, there's up the prize money. Like,
a lot of people sook about small things.
Yeah.
But if you actually give them feedback on the bigger things, they'll look into it.
Yeah.
Like, they're not silly.
Yeah.
They're not there just to take everyone's money and all that sort of stuff. They've got to run a show.
Yeah.
But, like, look at the prize money, mate.
Yeah, they're just up. That's like 50 grand. Yeah.
Like, that's like...
And that's going to be a staple for
a lot of people out of retirement.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, a lot of people's ears pricked up like, oh shit, here we go. Because I didn't realize that the championship got paid out. I just because you don't really hear or people don't really say like, oh, I won this. I won the championship at some nights. I won 10 grand or whatever it was. Yeah. It's always like the Masters win 15 or 20, I think it is.
Yeah, it's 15.
And then it pays to the third, I think.
Yeah, third. Yeah, so third place it pays to. It used to go to fifth, but now it's only third.
Yeah.
So.
And then I wasn't. Like, never aware of that the championships got paid either.
Yeah,
and then
I think it's 10 grand or something for championship.
Yeah, okay, so still like
it's crazy prize.
That's a good prize. Yeah.
Yeah, and even like the dyno, like people that won the dyno, I think it's like $2.5 grand or something for winning the dyno. So.
And now they've upped it. 50 grand. Yeah. I think it's 70 overall, 50 for like to win the Pro Series, and then it's big money.
Yeah, it's good, but like I love it. Like when I was saying that, because obviously we run pro tickets at Thrashinats.
Yep.
When
you got two?
Yeah, we got two. And when I first started talking about that, and I was like, this is awesome. Like, this is the best thing, like, it's sliced bread pretty much.
Yeah.
And like, he's like,
because it definitely helps your event too, because people want to get that ticket. Or
like Red Centre, it was $10,000 prize money, and like when it hits your bank, man, it's just like like obviously when Rick won when it was Masters, won the Masters and
the championship.
I think it was like a 30 grand prize check for him.
Yeah,
he's like. It was awesome.
That was the Green Ute and LS1.
Yeah, and LS1. Yeah, when he done the big neutral dump. I still remember it.
That was the Green Ute, wasn't it? Like halfway through the shoot?
Yeah. I was on the start line, I was playing up and he just done the old...
that's right, then bang. Yeah. Because I remember they brought him down in like the golf buggy or whatever, and he jumped in the next car and fucking off he went.
Still remember just seeing the smile on his face after he'd doing it.
Yeah, he can drive, man. I watched him for years before when I got into the wild card, I said to my wife, I was like, I want to try and nut the entry.
Yeah.
Like from the start line, like move forward a little bit and go. And she's like, all right. She's like, do you think you'll fit? And I was like, yeah, like, I'm sure it'll fit. And then I found Fuller's video on YouTube, and it's like because he did it a couple of times, and I watched it like 30 times at work. I just sat there and I was like, yeah, it can definitely fit. Yeah. And then I messaged him and I was like, I've watched your video like 30 times on YouTube. I'm going to have a crack at it. And he goes, you're fit, dude. I can have a crack. And then I did. And then like a week later, messaged me, goes, told ya.
Yeah.
And I did it once and all sweet. And then I made it through to the wild card, like into the Masters. And I was like, oh, I'll do it again. And then I just rubbed and wife goes, you fucked that one. I was like, well, now we're like, it's too late then. Like once you rub the wall, like you're out. But she's like, you got cocky. And I'm like, I knew a VK could fit in that gap. I was like, I'm going to give it a go. But yeah, do you study shit like that? Do you study, like, if you have been to a pad before, like, would you study on YouTube?
I just like to walk the track. Or
that's a good one.
If you know someone that's like their driver skills like right up there.
Yep.
You just watch their skids from that comp.
Yeah, okay.
And probably Rick's probably the best one, man, because he uses every inch of that pad and just wheels it. Like, if you see him driving, you're like, well, I can have a crack at it. I don't know if I'll pull it off, but I'll have a crack.
Yeah, do you try and talk to some drivers too? Like,
and that's the best thing. Like, everyone's there to have a crack. Like, no one's there to go, I'm not helping you. Like if someone's car's broken down in the pits or something like that, I'd rather go over and help them get it going to try and go against them as a fair thing as then a DNF.
Yeah, it's the one good thing I find about the burnout scene is like, everyone will drop everything to help everyone else. It's like there is a competitive side to it, but there's a lot of mateship.
Yeah, well, that was one of the first things, like with when mine spun the lift when I first drove jack shoot. Like, we had the heads up, there's blokes helping out, there's blokes ringing different blokes, and one of the first blokes that was going to ring was Troy from Warspeed.
Oh yeah,
didn't even know the bloke.
Yeah,
and he's like, "I'll ring this," and Troy was going to bring me a set of lifters and a cam.
Jesus, yeah.
But I was just like, "Nah, I'm not doing a cam swap." It's 9:30. Let's just put all the stuff back on.
Like you going into the night, like trying to get ready for the next day.
Yeah, and like Troy was like, I'll bring you a cam, I'll bring you this, and I didn't even know the guy.
Yeah, shit. And you can't go past that. Yeah,
and that was that sort of stuff, mate.
Yeah,
so,
everyone's just willing to drop everything, and
and that's what's so good about the burnout scene, mate. Everyone just wants to help.
Yeah,
like if your car breaks down, man, there's people that like I bring spares all the time. Like every year at Summer, actually in the waiting in the lineup to get scrutineered. Yep. And people are like, have you got this? You got this? I'm like, yeah, I got this. Come get it.
Yeah. Do you have like certain, especially run like an LS, like is there certain things you'll bring, like
pretty
cam
much,
and crank sensor?
I normally do like plug leads and an alternator.
It's the
only two things that seem to alternators are always the one, man, because when you start zinging them pretty high, them standard GM alternators
just start burning out.
Yeah, unless you put a big pulley on them.
Yeah, okay.
They just seem to destroy themselves.
Yeah. Yeah, I was
starter mode, because everyone seems to cook starter mode.
I cooked my first one in like 4 years, like a month ago, or May. Yeah, early May. I was going to like a tattoo bike show, like up in Gympie.
Yep.
And I had the trailer there, had Kieran around, ready to go in the morning. Tick, tick. I'm like, what the fuck is that? And he's like, that's starter motor.
Yeah.
And then where it runs inside of the starter motor, that little piece just cracked off.
Yep.
That was it.
Well, my tip for
everyone, I ordered one off Rod Shop.
Yep.
Like, it was there 24 hours later, but I'm like, it was too late. Like the show was yesterday, but
My biggest tip is what I normally do, start of the season, before Summer Nats, brand new alternator, brand new starter motor.
Yeah, okay.
Every time, and then you do the season, you pull them off, you put them in the spare box.
Yeah, yeah.
Even
though they're not like broken or anything, they're just...
they're working, but... Yeah. That's the only thing I've ever always. That's me motto. I always do that.
Yep.
New starter, new alternator every season.
Yeah. Well, I've done an alternator before, but the starter mode I just never even thought about. It, just always started.
Yep.
I was like, oh, this is sweet. And then that one day I hit the button, it just heard this tick, and I was like, oh. Yeah. And I checked everything, so I was like, fuck. And then Rod Shop sent it to me in like 24 hours. I was like, fuck, that was good.
Yeah, no, they're good.
But I was like, oh, like it is what it is. But I've had crank sensors and cam sensors and all that sort of shit like go before, or someone runs over to you and like, do you have this? Do you have that? And you're like, fucking here it is. So it's definitely a good sport like that. Like everyone definitely tries to help out.
Everyone supports everyone.
Or rims like.
And you normally find out the people that don't support it or are very negative towards it, they don't last in the scene. They come in and they go, and you don't hear of them again. So.
Yeah. Yeah, I know Kev Davis, we were skidding in Mackay one year, and he's like, I want to try a set of 17s like what you've got. And I was like, yeah, try a set of mine, like have a go. He used them because they're 28 kilos with a tyre on each one. And then the next week he bought like 5 sets off Murph and it was like, fucking, I want them. Like they're heavy, they're good, and they're going to last like forever.
Yeah.
So I was like, I can go for it. So he took me for a drive in it, and I was like, fucking happy days.
Yeah, beautiful.
So it was cool. So it was good. I think that probably about wraps it up, eh? Got to be close to about an hour. Got dinner to get to.
Yep.
Well, yeah.
Some ribs.
Hey,
I'm getting some ribs.
Ribs? Yeah, I wouldn't mind if they got some downstairs.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just want to thank you for coming on, man.
No
It's
drama
been
at all,
a
mate.
pleasure to
It's
sit here and talk to you for a bit. And
Yep.
yeah, definitely keen on watching your skid tomorrow. And
Yeah, it should be good.
might slap a GoPro on if we can, or
Yeah, it's
if
easy.
you don't mind.
If it falls off and I run over it, sorry.
That's up to you. It's his GoPro. I don't care either.
Yeah.
But yeah, definitely been a pleasure, man.
Yeah.
And yeah, thank you to Octane Apparel for sponsoring the channel, and Chocolate Meltdown for sponsoring the episode. So yeah, it's been good. We'll see you on the next one.
Perfect.
Thank you.